All right, so what we're going to do in today's lesson is we're going to go ahead and we're going to create box plots. Another word for a box plot is a box and whisker plot. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll go ahead and actually create the box plot, which when we're done will look something like this. Okay, so what we will do first is we're actually going to put these numbers in order from least to greatest. So I'll go ahead and create the list here. So it'll be 2, 2, 2. And then the next number looks like it will be a 4. Then there is 1, 5. Then 1, 2 6s. Then there are no 7s. I have 2 8s. Then there's no 9s, but I see a 10. I see 1 11. I see 1 12. A 13. And a 14. So like I said, step 1 is to put those numbers in order from least to greatest. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and create a dot plot. So there will be a dot at the lowest number, a dot at the highest number, and then we're going to find our median. So put your finger on each end and count in until we find that middle number. And you see it's actually in between two numbers. And so then we add the two numbers and we divide by 2 and we get 7. So our minimum value is 2. Our maximum value is 14. And then our median was 6 plus 8 divided by 2, which is 7. Okay. Now we need to find these two values, which are called quartile 1 and quartile 3. Essentially what quartile 1 is, it is the median of lowest 50%. So this is the median, which divides 50% of the data. 50% of the data is above, 50% of the data is below that value. So what we're going to do is put our finger on 6 and 2 and find the median of this set of data, which is 4. So that will be quartile 1. And then quartile 3 is the median of upper 50%. So I'll put my finger on 8, put my finger on 14, and then count in. And I see that my quartile 3 is at 11. So this is the 5-number summary, and we use this 5-number summary to create our dot plot. We'll put a dot at our minimum and a dot at our maximum. So minimum is 2, maximum is 14. Then we will put a line, a vertical line at these 3 numbers. So a vertical line at 4, a vertical line at 7, and a vertical line at 11. These 3 lines will make our box. And then these are our whiskers. Talk a lot more about what this box plot actually is tomorrow or in class. So we've created the dot plot or the box plot. This is our 5-number summary. Then we're going to calculate 2 things. We're going to calculate the range. Our range is going to be the maximum value minus the minimum value, saying essentially how spread apart the data is. So max minus minimum. So that's 14 minus 2, which is 12, meaning the data is spread out by 12 units. Lastly, we're going to calculate what's called the inner quartile range. And the inner quartile range is quartile 3 minus quartile 1, which essentially says how spread out is this box. Okay, how spread apart is the box. So quartile 3 minus quartile 1. Quartile 3 is 11. Quartile 1 is 4. And 11 minus 4 would be 7. Meaning that this box is 7 units apart. And the data itself is 12 units apart. Okay? We're going to do that one more time, just with a new set of data. So I'll zoom in a little bit here. This data is already in order from least to greatest. We're going to find our minimum, our maximum, our median, quartile 1 and quartile 2. So the minimum value is 2. Maximum value is 10. Okay, now we're going to find our median. So we're going to divide our data in half. And we see our median is 6. So what 6 does is it separates 50% of the data. This is the upper 50%, and this is the lower 50%. Okay, so now when we go to find our quartile 1, what we'll do, oops, sorry about that. What we'll do is we're not going to start at 6, we're going to start at 5, because 6 is the median. So we'll start at 5 and 2 and count in. So our quartile 1 is going to be 2 plus 4 divided by 3, or sorry, divided by 2. 2 plus 4 is 6, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So quartile 1 is 3. Again, we're not putting our finger on the median because the median is a value. I'm going to start at 6 and 10, count in. So 8 plus 8 divided by 2 would be 8. Put a dot at 2, dot at 10, and lines at 3, 6, and 8. Draw the box. Okay, we're going to find our range, which again, our range is the maximum minus the minimum, saying how spread apart the data is. So 10 minus 2, which means the data is 8 units apart. Our inner quartile range is our quartile 3 minus our quartile 1, essentially saying how spread apart this box is. So that's 8 minus 3, which is 5. So this box is 5 units apart. The data itself is 8 units apart.